We're diving straight back into the same part of your Bubble app that we've just looked at for backend workflows, but this time we're going to think and talk about database triggers. So database triggers are hidden away, not really hidden, but they're in this option here. And database triggers are a great way of keeping two bits of data in sync. And now I'm going to give quite a silly example, but hopefully it's going to flesh out what exactly you can do. So let's say, I'll say when a task is created, and the database trigger, and it is really worth going into the Bubble documentation and just reading about what they will and they won't do. For example, database triggers ignore privacy rules. Really worth considering if you're doing any searching with database triggers. But also when they will and when they won't trigger. So database triggers, off the top of my head, can't trigger themselves, but near enough anything else that happens, as long as it is according to the instructions we're just going to go through, this workflow will run, and it will run in the back end. Again, very useful for keeping data in sync between two items. So let's go ahead and say tasks. At the moment, this workflow is going to run every single time anything happens to a task. So for example, let's say task now, and I'm going to come back and explain that all. Right, so at the moment, any time anything happens to a task, the title is going to be wiped. It will be made blank. That is if a task is created all the way through to, say, the status being updated, anything happens, this workflow is going to run. But we can change that. So we can add conditions in, and this does require a particular mindset of what is task before change and what is task now. Well, so think of a point on a timeline of when the change occurs, and you've got access to the data before and you've got access to the data after. So if we wanted to say, do this every time a task is created, for example, we could consider that actually this is quite a clever thing to do. We could say, do a search for tasks, except of course it ignores privacy rules. So this would work as a count across the whole app, not for one user. And we say count. I think that would work because the task has already been created. Anyway, this is what I'm leading up to, is we can say when task before is empty. So when's the only time the task before a change is empty? Well, that's when a task is created. And so this is going to insert a number into the title based on the number of tasks. And the thing we're changing is tasks now. So I think that is going to be an accurate count, but I've just come up with this off the top of my head. So there are other things that we could do. We could do when a particular field is changed. So when tasks before change status is not tasks now status. So now our workflow will run every single time the status is changed. Let's just go through another example while it occurs to me. We could say, well, when task now status is incomplete. So now every single time a task is marked as incomplete, our workflow will run. And so this is just something else to have up your sleeve for ensuring that you have consistency to what you're wanting to do with your data. So rather than every single time you have a workflow that edits a task, you have to think, I need to add on action Z because action Z is critical for ensuring that everything's kept up to date in my workflow. You wouldn't add action Z. I'm just thinking of a random action. You wouldn't add that in every single place. You could simply say, well, I know I only want action Z to run when the task status is incomplete, or perhaps when a task is complete. You could then queue up everything that you want to occur whenever a task is marked as complete. That is the power of database triggers, and you can use them really effectively. But do check out the Bubble documentation to be clear on their scope, what they will and what they won't do.